So this is a really funny game, which I really wanted to share with you guys. And we're not going to be doing a proper deck review for it. It is a casted game. It's played on death row between myself and Wing Commander Sir Lionel Snuffly, who is a pretty high-rated player. I think he's 30th or 60th, might be 160th. We'll find out at the end. And he's playing UK 1st Armoured, and I'm playing 7th Panzer. So we'll get into the deployment, but first a word from our sponsor. Right, so here's a good quote for you. I think that you should watch TTT Sudoku. It's a video about me playing Gmod, and I thought it was quite funny. I think you'll enjoy it. I don't ask much from my fans except their undying loyalty, and possibly for them to spam Derek telling him that UK is too weak and needs buffs urgently. And I do think that you'd enjoy the video. I don't get paid for these videos because I don't have enough subscribers, and I wouldn't really know where to begin with that anyway. I don't want to make a career out of this. I just think that you would enjoy the video, and it surprises me that 579 people will happily watch a 1 hour, 15 minute and 19-second video of me saying let me win, let me win, let me win over and over against P. Uritana. But only 128 people would watch a 1 minute and 55 video, which I think is funnier. If you watch it and then you think, well, this is actually a bit rubbish, please let me know in the comment section of this video, and then I'll stop shilling and I'll just put some other quotes in. As it stands, I'd like to thank you for your support. I have 418 subscribers, and like I said, people routinely come out every single day to spend an hour of their time watching a video of just me talking while I play a game that I was going to play anyway. So yeah, thank you. I really, really enjoy reading your comments, even the extra based ones. One thing you have to be aware of, guys, is that YouTube actually censors, automatically hides comments that have certain words in it. You can probably guess what the words are, right? Just any sort of swear word, anything vaguely political, contradictory, or what's the word? The opposite of cohesive. It begins with C. I can't remember. Things that don't fit the narrative. Starting to sound like a bit of a Tim Pot guy now. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video, and yeah, I really like leaving your comments, so please leave a funny comment, but you've got to be creative with your insult, guys. And as always, commit toaster bath, as they say in Roblox. Right, so with that out of the way, we'll have a look at Wing Commander Sir Lionel Snuffly's deployment. Great bloke. I think I've spoken to him in the past. I think he's been in some of the tournaments. So first things first, on his right, my left, he's sending a fox all the way around the side and then round the back to snipe my units, which is really smart, really good. I really like that a lot. And then in the middle, we've got 2 more foxes and an SAS patrol. SAS patrol is unloading here, and the foxes are going here. I'm not sure I agree with having 2 foxes there, just because speed is their key, right? But and they're not highly armored, so if you come up against the enemy's main force through this route, then they're just going to donk you. Having said that, they could very, very easily kill early recon with their Radin cannons and help that SAS patrol secure this general area, and then they could leave and go somewhere else. And on his far left, my far right, he's got another fox coming all the way around here and going around the back to snipe my units. So yeah, really smart plays from Wing Commander Sir Lionel Snuffly. He has my respect. In the middle is the wackiest deployment I think I might have ever seen. So he's got a CV, which is very standard. You can use 1 CV to cap all 3 zones. And then he has javelins, rifles, and MAGs and warriors backed up by Centurion AVREs. So that's a cool attack. The warrior is obviously quite strong, but the thing with the AVRE is that it cannot shoot at armored targets. So just keep zooming in, keep lowering my FPS. Let's have a look at this bad boy. So this supplements your main forces, right, with its 3.2 HE and its 480 suppression, but it's 3 fire rates. This helps you because you can just stun an infantry unit, turn him into low cohesion, make him a bit useless, and then you can let the other guys do the fighting. So there's really no advantage to bringing 4 of them. It's often very hard to find utility in bringing 1, but I do like bringing them, and I am trying to work them into my gameplay a bit more. The thing is about the AVRE in Warno is that, unlike the AVRE in Wargame Red Dragon, this thing just cannot shoot armored targets. So in Red Dragon it would shoot an armored target, not really do anything, but it would suppress it, whereas in this game it can't. You have to use attack position, zoom in on the tank and try and click it. And if he's moving, you're not hitting him, and it's very micro-intensive, so you would essentially shoot the ground next to him, or shoot the ground under him as opposed to shooting him, and maybe that would suppress him. I've never seen it done adequately. So these guys are cheap, 185 points. 85 points even, but he's brought 4 of them. You don't really need 4. What I would instead bring is 2 tanks. So I believe there's a 170 point tank that you can get as the Brits. It might be 180. I sometimes get my prices wrong, and so you could get 2 of those, or you could get 2 of the 190 point tank. Beep boop, doing the maths in my head. No, you couldn't. You could get 2 of the 170 point tanks if they are indeed 170 points, as opposed to these AVREs. So that about finishes it for Blue's deployment. For Red's deployment, I have nothing because I was AFK. And the game started. He waited, to his credit, he waited about 4 minutes, deployed his units and then started the game. So actually he didn't really wait that time at all. He just sort of deployed his units and started the game. But I don't blame him. If you're AFK, I'm starting the game against you in a ranked match as well. So yeah, really good strategy from Wing Commander Sir Lionel Snuffly in regards to the foxes around the side. Good stuff with the foxes around the side. Interesting push. I disagree with 4 AVREs at the start. Yeah, so let's see how this game goes. And I will, of course, be casting it from my perspective, although I suppose at this point in time, my perspective would just be a blank screen, because I think I was making a cup of tea or something. Right, and they're off, and everybody's going to where they said they were going. Snuffly's got his big armoured push going over here, so fast move to there, and then standard move to there. And behind those, the warriors. Oh, I see, so 2 of the warriors are going with his AVRE push, and the rest are going here. It doesn't make too much sense to me. I'm not sure what the plan is. The plan from the other side is to be AFK, and Blue is now at a 2-point lead. Foxes get here, no one here. This guy's going around the side alright. It's a good idea, although I don't know why a move order was given. I think an attack order would be better, although, I mean, who are you going to run into over here? I suppose the thing is that this would stop you from engaging any helicopters that fly over you, which may or may not be a good or bad thing. And quite rightly, he's taken this zone and then taken that zone. In terms of speed, might be better to come back along this road and go up here. And yeah, so we've got rifles and 2 warriors going with the AVREs. With 2 javelins behind, and then there's 2 javelins over here with 3 more warriors here. But this is a really weird way of doing things, because there's no anti-tank in this block. There's no AA in this block. I mean, that's a bit at the back here. These foxes are now playing very aggressively, aiming to cut the reinforcement route here. Snuffly now on a +4. I think he has now come to the conclusion that I'm not playing the game. So at this point he shouldn't be unloading these units, because at this point you should aim to secure the zones, right? Secure the zones as much as possible. Don't fall asleep. You really want to press your advantage as much as possible. When somebody's on the floor, that's when you want to start kicking them. This is Hippie's Guide to Street Fighting. So these rifles should be loaded back into these Bedfords, and it should be all go, everybody go. Because as it stands, you've got these 2 foxes forwards, you know there's no one here. This guy's now going even further this way, and what's this? Hippie wakes? Hippie wakes up? Or sleeping? So 3 helicopters, because I don't know what's here, right? I just got back, I saw that I was losing on a +7, and I assumed that this would be full. So get the helicopters out, recon helicopters, attack helicopters, and 2 CVs to close the distance as much as possible. Seed for the helicopters. Deploy a bunch of Mott Schutzen, triple vetted. The 7th deck review will be in the description, with the deck code as well. And then a bunch of T-72Ms with all the points I've had saved up for the past 4 minutes. Seed flies over, but I'm against first, so if I had engaged my brain, I would know that there is no seed-capable AA on the enemy team. But maybe this is an extremely high-level play where the seed was just to make sure that there was no AA here so the helicopters could be used. At this point, Snuffly now takes, what is this, Bravo? And first AT helicopter going for the rover CP, gets stunned by the Foxes immediately. That happens now, these helicopters get stunned really easily, and they cost a bit more. It's a difficult balancing act. I would prefer it like this. It's just it's difficult to disengage them still. So they get stunned really easily, but then they can't be disengaged. I've secured Bravo, we're now down to +5. AT helicopters get over to here. Would love to see Snuffly just buy 5 tornadoes and just chuck them all in. As it stands, he's still trying to move up here. But what's this? 5 javelins back there, no javelins up here. So these guys have the run of the mill. Blobs arriving. No one can challenge this man. As he just pours hate into these AVREs, the javelins are far too out of position, weren't moved up with the forces. Over here, these guys shouldn't be back here, they should be over here. Bought an AT plane, killed 1 warrior. Amazing play, amazing play. 1 warrior, definitely worth it. Over here, capped this zone now that the Foxes are cleared out. Blob's still going. AT helicopters remain uncontested in the air. More javelins, but these guys are going to take time to get here. So would have loved to see some aircraft from Snuffly just to kill these guys dead quick. Maybe some tracked rapiers. Maybe not all javelins. These javelins are slow, depending on where you unload them. That's now cleared out. Back to +3. The blob arrives, and these guys are grossly out of position. They've had all the time in the world. There should be a tank here. There should be rifles in this building, rifles in this building, rifles here, rifles here. And then the MAGs sort of scattered around. Javelin should be further up. Recon should be further up. There should be somebody here. There should be somebody here. There should be somebody here. These guys shouldn't be all the way back here. As it stands, Javelins finally get in. Mess up that AT. T-72 blob arriveth, and it's got a T-72 force multiplier command guy here buffing everybody up to 3 vet. I think I bring them on 2 vet now for this reason. Harrier clusters coming out to kill the Mi-24s, but there's no one here. There should be somebody here. Tracked rapier here. These clusters were too late. They'd come out way earlier when the helicopters first deployed, could have killed them. And the clusters will now be redirected to kill the T-72s. No AA here from Hippie, but 1 ASF, which just starts cleaning up these clusters one after another. It gets 2. Flies over all the javelins though. Takes some hits, but not too many, because these guys aren't here. If they were here, it'd be dead. Clusters don't get off properly, so I think 1 might have killed a couple T-72s, but not many. T-72s in front, the MP1's behind, because T-72s can tank. Would love to have seen a supply here, maybe some AA, but there's no time for AA. So that's why the fighter jets are being used. Clusters go for the T-72. When they come in for you, split. Only lose 1. And bomber used to kill those 3 rifles that were tanked up here. AVRE is useless against armored targets. They can only shoot the Mott Schutzen here, unless you attack ground, which ain't gonna work when everybody's moving. So yeah, they can kill the infantry, but they can't fight the T-72s. There is no AT on the field. That's a lie. There's an SAS patrol here. But there is no anti-tank capability on the field here from Snuffly. Hippie's now +7. In here, in here, in here. No CV here because it was driven down here and died. T-72's just going ham. Recon helicopter in front. And I realise there's no rifles in here either. Start moving up there. Typically you want to have the infantry in front so they can sponge, but that slows you down because infantry is slower than a tank. Counter CV put in for Snuffly. Tracked rapier is finally here, but the air game's over, and these javelins are now caught out in the open, useless. all gonna die. The SAS Patrol's the only guy here that could challenge the tanks. 3 vet Challenger 2's here, but doesn't get here fast enough. I'm just securing this zone here, so I put a Pioneer Flam in, and that's GG. So yeah, pretty funny game. Maybe a bit self-aggrandizing, 156. But yeah, our game numbers are similar, right? So if you look, 600, 500, just under 500, more like 450. So yeah, I thought that was a funny game. If it was too self-relatiating, let me know. But I enjoyed casting it. GG.